Welcome to That's Good Sports! That was aggressive. I'm Brandon. This clip from the Penn State game nearly convinced me to go back to college and try out for the football team Perna. Oh, it did. I was gonna do a 30-minute feature on this video until I realized the face hump was edited. Something I should have seen right away since I have done that several times on this show. Something real that happened was the Titans getting a good 3 extra seconds of playing time after the first quarter ended on Thursday Night Football. The Colts were pissed that this play was allowed to continue even though the quarter had ended.
That's unbelievable, and everybody just missed that. Well, are they going to let that play stand? They can't.
Why are you angry, Indianapolis? Do you want to give Derrick Henry another crack at picking up 2 yards after you stuffed him? I don't think so. That may have been the biggest officiating gaffe that made absolutely no difference in a football game I have witnessed. Why do the Titans suck now? We'll talk about that today. Aqib Talib makes his broadcast debut, and is Kyler Murray really better than Lamar Jackson now? It's a fun question to consider, a lot to discuss. That's good, sports. It's the season of giving, so give my YouTube channel a sub, and then make one of your friends subscribe here. I need to get to 1 million subscribers so my wife will love me again. I have Patreon shoutouts at the end of today's episode, so make sure you stick around. But right now, we are sponsored by Manscape.com/goodsports. It's November, which means it's time to start thinking about the holidays. Or as I call them, the ballidays. Just like me, Christmas always seems to come early. So fellas, dudes, bros, men, guys, now is the time to start putting the performance package on your list of gifts you'd like to receive this holiday season. When your lady sees the words performance package, she'll know it's a gift for both of you. The performance package includes the Weed Whacker nose hair trimmer and the Lawnmower 3.0, the only below the elastic waistband pube trimmer to feature skin-safe technology to reduce nicks and cuts in that very special area. Asking for Manscaped products as stocking stuffers is much classier than stuffing your own crotch to, Choose the right kind of stuffing this year with my discount link below, manscape.com/goodsports, which will have your stockings overstuffed with 2 free gifts, 20% off, and now free international shipping. All right, Colts Titans. I have no idea why the Titans don't dominate everyone they play, or why the Colts have such a great defense but struggle so mightily on offense. Phillip Rivers, he's the reason why they struggle on offense. Rivers is better than Jacoby Brissett, but not by much. He's on track to finish with about the same amount of touchdown passes as Brissett did last year. He's already thrown more picks than Brissett had all of 2019. He does take far fewer sacks and gets rid of the ball more quickly, and still yells at the officials with great efficiency. And he got the win on Thursday night against the Titans, even though Jacoby Brissett scored the game-clinching touchdown on a sneak. And just like we did for Joe Flacco earlier this week, we should congratulate Phil Rivers for passing Dan Marino on the all-time passing yards list. And he did it during a win and on a night where he threw for a not all that impressive 300 plus yards. Rivers has about 10,000 more yards to go to get close to passing Brett Favre. So I think that's out of the question. Now, does everybody know what time it is? It's tool time! As we watch the smallest Taylor boy, Jonathan Taylor, lay the wood, making his tool-loving dad incredibly proud. Someone ask Dante Foreman on the other sideline if that hit is up to code. You got flattened, Armani Hooker. Now the Colts need to figure out ways to get more passes to running back Nyheim Hines. And they also maybe should not be so obvious about running the ball into the gut of the beast every play with running backs not named Derrick Henry. Receiver Michael Pittman Jr. emerged late as a receiving threat, but the only time the Colts offense is fun to watch is when Hines has the ball in his hands. or when the broadcast plays a bunch of unnecessary close-ups of Phillip Rivers, or when Twitter makes this stat about his kids, or points out how unnecessarily buff the Fox cartoon renderings are of Rivers. Now the Titans have so many beastly offensive players, nobody should be able to stop them, ever. A.J. Brown, beast. Corey Davis, beast. Jonnu Smith, beast. Derrick Henry, king, beast. Ryan Tannehill, okay, not a beast, more like a prince who's pretty good. Why are they not steamrolling mother lickers, is my question. Now, A.J. Brown dropped what would have been a touchdown pass in this game, and Derrick Henry was pretty quiet outside of a couple late drives. Then, special teams. Special teams put a dagger right through Mike Vrabel's still attached penis and the Titans' chances of winning. Pro Bowl punter and Titan reliable Brett Kern was out with an injury, and all hell broke loose. His fill-in had a shitty punt late in the third that went for a total of 17 yards that set up a Colts touchdown. And then the Titans had a punt blocked for another Colts touchdown, this one a special teams tutty, on the very next series after that first 17-yard punt. And that's what ultimately swung the game in the Colts' favor. And if it wasn't bad enough, Stephen Gostkowski missed a 44-yard field goal that would have made it a one-score game for Tennessee. Gostkowski is the first Titans kicker to miss 8 field goals in a season since Joe Nedney back in 2001. Just like a sticky mess around Phillip Rivers' waistline that cannot be thwarted by any means of birth control, Brett Kern is the glue that holds the Titans together. Special teams, still a Tennessee problem. And unless that offense can start scoring a shit ton of points every game, their defense isn't good enough to carry them when they really need it. Now, Aqib Talib will make his debut in the broadcast booth. Did I do that right, Aqib?
Hey man, I'm in the booth. I'm in the booth. Hey, what they say, you gotta say it twice. You gotta say it twice when you really mean it, right? I'm in the booth.
No, I did not.
To be in the Fox booth making
yes, sir.
the call. You got the bleep button ready?
Look, I knew you was finna say some shit. Hey, it can't be my job to have the bleep button ready. Look.
I can't remember ever being excited about listening to an announcer's first broadcast, outside of, say, maybe Pat McAfee. Bleep button aside, I do think Aqib Talib could turn into one of the best in the booth. His football knowledge is off the charts. He's got personality, a sense of humor, and just a touch of crazy. And not that Dan Fouts we should call the police type of crazy. Kyler Murray or Lamar Jackson? Who are you taking if you're starting an NFL franchise? I think it's a fun debate to have. Bleacher Report, Gridiron, posted a statement, I guess, a quote, an anonymous quote from an offensive coach who said Kyler is a better QB than Lamar Jackson. That offensive coach, probably an Arizona Cardinals assistant or an angry Greg Roman who didn't like that Lamar Jackson said opposing defenses were calling out their plays this year earlier in the week. Now, I think Kyler Murray should be mentioned more right now in the NFL MVP conversation. I mean, the two dark horse candidates right now are Josh Allen and Kyler Murray with plus 1,800 and plus 2,800 odds to win those 3 letters, MVP. Tom Brady has been bounced from the conversation after the Saints made him miss his all-white receiving corps in New England. Brady was like, I thought if our coach was named Arians, that wouldn't be a problem. Patrick Mahomes, in my opinion, is the actual favorite since the Chiefs are currently the best team. But if the Cardinals can start beating good teams, Kyler is just as valuable as any of those players to his team's success. Murray leads the league in rushing yards for all quarterbacks, plus he has 8 rushing touchdowns in addition to his 16 passing TDs, and those 8 rushing touchdowns are already more than Lamar Jackson had in all of 2019. That's a little crazy. Lamar's 2019 performance was one of the best I've ever watched, but he's struggled this season, and Murray is definitely playing better than Action Jackson right now. So to answer my own question, who would I take to build a franchise around? I'd say I'd like to decide at this time next year, when I have a bigger sample size. But I might lean towards Kyler Murray right now, because he's a more natural passer and he throws to every part of the field. That's an area Lamar Jackson still needs to improve. The other QB in that fringe MVP convo is Josh Allen after he had a hell of a game. I mean, most people do against the Seattle Seahawks defense, but he was going balls deep without regard for anyone's safety. Allen completed 9 passes for 20-plus yards on Sunday, which was most in the league this week. This is setting up for a tremendously entertaining matchup between the Cardinals and the Bills this weekend. That's the game I want to watch. The Bills and Cards defenses are playing about the same. Both have given up 14 passing touchdowns, each have 6 picks on the season, and 22 and 24 sacks in Buffalo's favor. If there's a difference in this game, it's that the Bills have not been good against the run. Kyler could separate himself from Josh Allen by putting up another 100-yard rushing game and getting the win, as could Josh Allen with 300-plus air yards and 1 photo-worthy hurdle of a dude. Now it's time for my yearly appreciation of Larry Legend. Larry Fitzgerald hasn't dropped a pass in 2 full NFL seasons. 143 catches without a drop. Fitz is still trailing Jerry Rice by 5,000 receiving yards all time and gets forgotten about because he has caught passes from the likes of Matt Leinart, John Skelton, Sam Bradford, Drew Stanton, Kevin Cobb, Derek Anderson, Sean King, Max Hall, Ryan Lindley, Brian Hoyer, Josh Rosen, John Navarre, and Blaine Gabbert, to name all of the bad ones. We will never know what would have happened had Larry been able to play most of his career with guys like Kurt Warner and Carson Palmer. But I bet there'd be a discussion between he and Jerry Rice as to who really is the greatest receiver to ever play the game. Tim Tebow will always be relevant for some reason. We learned that Tebow refused to say, "Oh shit," which was part of a play call with the Jets in the huddle during a game. Nick Mangold told this story on the Endless Hustle podcast this week.
And this is my one Tebow story. We had a play. It was a why oh shit screen, and he starts reading it. He goes through the whole formation and gets to the last play. Is why? All right, screen. You guys know what it is. And we're like, "No, Tim, what is it?" And he goes, I'm not gonna say it. Like, I don't know what the play is then. I don't. You got to be able to say it. And so, I mean, I think we ended up getting yelled at for that because we were taking forever in the huddle. But it was like, I don't know what the why you guys know what it is screen is. I don't know what it is. So I found that to be pretty fun.
What a double-edged sword Tebow is. It's that kind of stubbornness that got Tebow to the NFL and also forced him out of the NFL. That's an adult man in an NFL huddle delaying a play because of the S word. Football is a game where guys attempt to kick the ever-living S word out of each other every single play, and Tebow's fear of burning in hell forbid him from clearly relaying what the play was to his teammates. That's one of the most selfish acts I've ever heard about on a football field. It's worse than a wide receiver refusing to block or run a route full speed because he knows the ball's not going to him. I will never understand Tebow, but I support his right to live his life any way he sees fit. Just never trust a man who puts his faith above calling a play correctly in the huddle. I do have Big Dick Patreon shout outs for new patrons. Alan Wiener. A bunch of letters I cannot read, so I will assume they mean FYTB, and I love Brandon Perna. Brandon Perna can eat my ass anytime. Oh, can I? Can I? Anthony Bivens, Chris Lang, Robin Borges, Robin Borges, Shaligator, and Happy Birthday Christian. Happy birthday, Christian. I think I already gave you a shout out. Patreon.com/thatsgoodsports. That's how you support this channel. We offer a weekly pick-em episode that we do just for patrons if you're interested. Thanks for watching That's Good Sports. Please click the video on the screen now to watch more of my videos. YouTube wants you to be a zombie of just watching content and never doing anything else, so abide by their rules or I will be crushed.